Hello once again, this is Orion Syndicate 910. Thanks for watching. With all this going on lately about Everybody Burn a Qur'an Day, which has a Facebook page with about 2,700 people clicking the like button. There are pages, of course, set up opposing Everybody Burn a Qur'an Day, and I think the largest of the groups has about 13,000 people clicking the like button on it. And this is heartening. After watching a video recently posted by a YouTube user on this topic, Manhattanites, where he condemns not only burning Qur'ans but burning any book, because book burning, let's be blunt, is associated with totalitarian regimes seeking to suppress dissent or views which they themselves have not approved. This is why in the Middle Ages the Catholic Church, and not only Catholics but Protestants, burned copies of the Talmud and other books that they considered to be heretical. And that was carried forward into modern times with book burnings done by the Nazis, and it was done even here in America with book burnings being done by certain Christian fundamentalist groups. And so book burning, its history is not really seen as one where good people burn books and make the world a better place. Book burning is done by typically bad people, and it makes the world a worse place than it already was. But be that as it may, seeing the people saying, they want these groups of people to get together and burn Qur'ans in a great big fire, and the thought came to me like, well, that's exactly what Osama bin Laden wants you to do. Because from the very beginning, he has wanted this whole conflict between himself and the United States to be a war between the West, specifically the United States, and Islam. And when I say Islam, it's not only the Islamic religion, but all Muslims everywhere in the world united together to fight America and the West. And yet, he really doesn't have all that many takers outside of Afghanistan and Pakistan and a few other places. I mean, after all, he didn't really have all that much support in Iraq until the United States invaded. So, what do you think Osama bin Laden will think or say when crowds of Americans burning piles of Qur'ans in the streets of our cities makes it to the international news? Do you think that he will be upset? Do you think that he'll break down in tears and say, "Oh no, what have I done? I should stop my attacks on America because they are burning Qur'ans"? No, that's not what he's going to do at all. What he's probably going to do is, most likely going to do, in fact, he will take copies of those videotapes and he will show them to Muslims all around the world and say, America says we have freedom of religion. America says we tolerate all religious points of view. And here they are, burning your holy book. And the Qur'an is not only a sacred book to the Islamists, the Wahhabis, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, groups like that. It's not only their holy book, it's also the holy book for Sunni Muslims living in Turkey, which is a valuable U.S. ally, by the way. It's the holy book for people in Morocco, which was the first country in the world to recognize American independence, and they did this even when the American Revolution was still going on. It's also the holy book for Muslims living in Australia, Great Britain, Muslims living in pro-American countries such as Tunisia and Lebanon. And it's not only the holy book for Sunnis and Shiites, it's the holy book for Sufis, the mystical branch of Islam. And so it's a holy book for all Muslims everywhere. And yet, in order to go after the fundamentalists, the radicals, the hand choppers, the girl stoners, you're going to do something which is going to offend everyone at the same time. This, to be honest, I am surprised that people haven't really thought this all the way through without realizing that you're doing exactly what Osama bin Laden wants you to do. Now, the Imam of the Cordoba initiative, who is looking to build a mosque about, 180 meters away from ground zero, even though there is a mosque which is already in the area of the World Trade Center. It's called Masjid Manhattan. By the way, there's also a strip club close by. No one seems to mind the lap dancing and beer drinking that goes on over there. And with this whole thing going on, I mean, Imam Faisal Abdul Rauf has gone around the world speaking to Islamic leaders and leaders of Muslim countries, saying how tolerant America is of Islam and minority religions like that in the West. Essentially, this whole movement, the Burn the Qur'an Day and the people opposing the so-called Ground Zero Mosque, basically have turned Imam Faisal into a liar. Really, when he goes overseas and tells people that America tolerates religions, they're going to look back at him thinking, hey, how's that mosque building thing going on in Manhattan right now? And notice that people tend to leave out certain statistics. I was going through the statistics of who opposes and who supports the building of the Muslim Community Center over there at, Park 51. The majority of people of Manhattan, where the 9/11 attacks actually happened, most people polled in Manhattan support the building of the Islamic Community Center. It's when the polls take in people from across New York State and across the entire country that the numbers shift. So I think we should go personally with, how do the people who live in that area actually feel about the mosque being built? Never mind the people that don't live there, who ultimately, it's really none of their business what's being built someplace that they don't live themselves. Because when you see the polling data, the people in Manhattan, they think, well, yeah, build it. But the people outside of Manhattan, the parts of New York where the 9/11 attacks did not occur, those people are against it. So anyway, that is an interesting comparison of the two. So if you're going to go out and burn a Quran or something like that, well, just rest assured that you are doing exactly what Osama bin Laden wants you to do. And if he can get a videotape of you doing that, then he'll be glad to show it to Muslims who might be sitting on the fence or even actively opposing him right now and saying, see, so much for freedom of religion in the land of the free and home of the brave. And this whole thing of this whole anti-Islamic hysteria that's going on in America right now, it really has little to do with the 9/11 attacks. It has little to do with human rights. It's more to do with the people on the Republican right who are using this issue, among others, the anti-immigrant hysteria, the campaign to prevent the legal marriage of people who are gay or lesbian. It's just part of a multi-pronged effort by the Republican right to whip up public support so they can retake Congress and the White House in future elections. That's really all this is part of. It's not anything to do with making the world a better place or making America free from tyranny or foreign entanglements. It's just about stirring up fear, getting votes, raising money. That's all it's about. And I just wish that people on the Republican right would go back and follow something Oral Roberts did when he said that God had threatened to kill him unless he raised a certain amount of cash. Anyway, this is Orion Syndicate 910. Thanks for watching.